Financial Accounting with Python. Welcome to the series of using Python for financial accounting. The example used for this series will come from Financial Accounting, Tools for Business Decision Making, 7th Canadian edition. Chapter 1, the purpose and use of financial statements. Accounting, the information system that identifies and records the economic events of an organization and then communicates them to a wide variety of interested users. Accounts receivable, the operation of receiving money in the future from customers. This is an asset as they represent an economic resource, cash, and will be eventually collected. Accounts payable, short-term liability from some expenses when a company purchases inventory or supplies on credit from suppliers. Interest payable, the outstanding unpaid liability amounts owed to various lenders and creditors, such as dividends payable, salaries payable, property payable, sales tax payable. Net income, revenues are greater than the expenses incurred to generate the revenues, net earnings, and profit. Let's create a function to calculate net income. Income before tax. Revenue and expenses as arguments, and both of data type float. Our formula for net income is revenue minus expenses, and we print out the net income. Let's call the function so we can use it. Income before tax, we pass in our revenue and expenses values. Let's run the code. Income before tax is $15,680. Financial statements. There are 4 required financial statements. 1. Income statement. Reports revenues and expenses, showing how a company's operations performed during a period of time. 2. Statement of changes in equity. So shows changes in each component of shareholders' equity, common shares and retained earnings, and total equity during a period of time. 3. Statement of financial position. What a company owns, assets, what it owes, liabilities, and resulting difference, shareholder equity at a specific point in time. 4thly, statement of cash flows, where a company obtained cash during a period of time and how that cash was used. Income statement. Here's an example of the corporation Sierra, which has been in operation for 1 month, and the month ended on October 31st, 2018. Income statements typically look like this example, with revenues at top and expenses are categorized. Income before income tax, and then the net income is at the bottom, often referred to as the bottom line. We can create a data frame or a CSV or Excel ourselves and deduct the expenses altogether. You can create your own data set using the Pandas library. It should be already installed with Anaconda. If not, type inside a code cell, !pip install pandas. Once that is installed, you can write import pandas as PD. PD is the alias and shorthand for a library such as pandas. To create a pandas data frame, you need a variable name. Here we will call it Sierra, pandas, or our alias, pd.dataframe. Then we pass in a dictionary structure. Our keys are the columns, so expenses is a column. We use a list array for all the rows. And the backtick here allows you to spread it on different lines. Amount is a column with a list array of the values. Let's run our code. We get expenses and amount as columns. with everything in the rows. Get all the expenses while not including the $20,000 revenue and create a new column that sums up all the expenses. Create a variable called service revenue. So the service revenue, our data frame .iloc is a function as integer location, and the first row is 0 because Python is 0 indexed. Our second column is 1. Let's grab our value and we get the 20,000. Create a variable to store all the expenses and sum them from row 1 to the 7th and the second column. So we have our variable called expenses. We want to sum all of the rows from 1 to 7. 7 is inclusive, but 8 is excluded. And second column is 1. Then, to create a new column in Python, you call the Pandas data frame, you create a new column with our string, and then you subtract your service revenue minus your expenses. Let's run our code, and we get net income.